everyone. Good morning.
Hello, danke, vielen Dank, Ashley, für die Vorstellung. Und es tut mir leid, aber ich habe für lange Zeit kein Deutsch gesprochen. Also ich werde meinen Vortrag auf Englisch machen. And English will be also complicated because I haven't talked in English in a while also. So please excuse me if I do mistakes. I will share my screen also. So I have prepared a talk. So to show you about, of course, what are my rituals in my expeditions in Patagonia. I do research in Patagonia, so I am a paleontologist, and I have been working since years in an animal that is called an ichthyosaur. In German, they call it fish saurier. This was a marine reptile that lived between 250 and 93 million years ago. So it's a very extinct animal. This animal was living in the seas of the past. So it's possible to find the skeletons now in the entire planet because it has a global distribution. So, and was an animal that was very adapted to live in the seas. So it has 2 front paddles and 2 back paddles, and also a dorsal fin and a caudal fin. And the degree of adaptation to live in the water was so big that this animal was able to give birth in the water. So it wasn't necessary to lay eggs on the shore as other reptiles, not? For example, turtles do that. So the babies of this animal were born directly on the sea. So we say this animal was a viviparous. So and it's very interesting because we have found skeletons with embryos inside of this animal here in Germany also. So therefore, I am very interested in working in Germany because they have a large collection of these animals in Baden-Württemberg of fossils that have been found in Posidonian Shale Formation. So this is the area where I am working. This is in the southernmost part of Chile, in Magallanes region. Our research area is in the Torres del Paine National Park. So I am working in the border of Tyndall Glacier. It's a glacier that is melting due the climate change that we are living actually in these times, no? So the research area is located there, where you can see this yellow circle. So in this border of the glacier is melting, and we can see the rocks after the glacier suddenly disappear. So this is an image, it's an old image. This is from 2010, actually. It's a very old. So a very large part of this glacier is already melted. So in these rocks, we found several skeletons of these animals, the ichthyosaurs. So here in the floor, you can see the skeleton of one that I am pointing on. And we have so far found almost 100 of these skeletons. So between them, we have several that are complete and articulated. It means that each bone is connected to each other in the natural position. And most of them are exposed at the skeletons, but some others are still underneath the rock. And we have so far excavated already 5 or 6 specimens from this locality. So there is no much because we have been working there since almost 20 years, but excavation there is extremely difficult, and you will see now. So to go to this area, we have to be fully prepared because weather is very complicated there. This is a picture of an expedition we did in 2021. It was in October. So October here, well, in Chile is spring. So we were not expecting snow. And actually we weren't prepared to the snow. So it was a very complicated expedition. So therefore, I have some rituals that allow us to go in safe to work in this remote area. These are things I do every time I organize an expedition. So before starting the expedition, I have to check several things that we will need to go to this remote area. So the first thing I have to check is where I am going. So before organizing, I have to review the map from where is the area where we are going to go, because sometimes it's a very difficult area and I will need some other things. For example, when I am going, what is the proper season to go? Is it good in summer, or is also good in spring or autumn? It's too complicated to go in winter, or maybe not. Maybe in winter is better because there is less wind. So there are several things to consider regarding the season of when going. What is the purpose of this? So it's an exploration, or it's a paleontological excavation? Because if it's an exploration, I will just need a few things. But if it's a paleontological excavation, I will need a lot of things. So who is coming with me? Will I need students or only experts, considering the remoteness of the area? So if I need a person in charge of the security, a mountaineer, or somebody who will also help us. What resources do I need? So will I require horses, a navigation, or a helicopter? Do I will have budget to funding this or not? If not, I have to discard all of these things or not doing the expedition at all. Is a team with whom I am going enough prepared? So I have to ensure that everyone is physically and also mentally ready for an extended period of fieldwork, because the expeditions I organize are of a minimum of 10 days until up 3 months that we are living in tents and with the cold weather. So it's important that the people with whom I am going, they know and they are prepared for it. So thus everyone has the right clothing. So therefore I provide a detailed checklist with the necessary personal clothing and equipment at least a month in advance. So the people can check this list and to see if they have everything that they need for the expedition. So ensure they are layering properly, because for expeditions here, you have to wear 3 layers of clothing to keep yourself warm and also dry, and to verify the personal gear of everyone so that everyone has essential equipment. It means the walking sticks, a proper sleep bag for under 0 temperatures, a flashlight with batteries, of course, because a flashlight without batteries doesn't help, a personal first aid kit, a blanket for hypothermia, for example, and personal thermo, and between other things. Also to ensure that we will have enough food and fuel. So therefore I say, if I am going, for example, for 10 days of expedition, I will ensure that we will have enough food for 20 days. Because there's sometimes the weather, not sometimes, most of the time, the weather is extremely bad and raining and snowing. And when that happens, we can't work. So we have to stay in the tents, warm and eating all the time. So it's important to be sure that we will have enough gas, of course, and fuel and food. So what are my rituals before the expedition? Because the former one was preparing the expedition, but before the expedition, I am sure that I will be in good shape, because I can go to the expedition if I was entire year eating and in the couch doing nothing, which is very good, but if I am the leader of the expedition, so if I can reach the mountain, nobody will know how to go. So I have to train and be serious about this. So I also need to purchase a SIM card for the satellite phone, because we will need that. There is no connection there. So we are pretty alone in the area, and therefore a satellite phone is essential. to check the weather before going, because if we are starting the expedition in a very bad day, we have to mentalize and to prepare ourselves to the rain, and also for the next day. So if it's a rain that will last 5 days, we will know that we will be the first 5 days inside of the tents and not working. So to bring a map and a compass in case the GPS fails, because sometimes it happens. To prepare a complete first aid kit, because it's going to be necessary. It has to be in the camp and everyone has to know what is inside. So in case there is an accident, everyone will know what they have to do and where is the staff. And to create a daily meal plan, because it will help to calculate the amount of food that we will need for the expedition. In case we need to buy more, we will know in advance. To arrange deliveries of fresh food, fresh fruits and veggies, in case it's possible, because it's nice to have some fresh vegetables, but sometimes it's complicated because we have to coordinate with the horses and the gauchos, which are the local cowboys. Is something that we have to coordinate in advance. To organize all the equipment into a detailed list. So we categorize by sections. So what is food, the list of food, the list of the camping gear, the list of tools, between other things. So it helps us to identify if we will need to buy extra things to the expedition. To check all the tents. So first we mount the tent and check them in case they have some holes or something that need to be repaired, or to buy new tents. But we do it before going to be sure that the tent is good, and a 4-season tent that will help for winter and summer from Patagonia. Also to ensure that all the loads is well packed, because it will avoid damage of the food during the transportation to the glacier, because all this load goes on the horses. So the horses are in constant movement. So if they are not well packed, something can destroy inside and will be a mess, which has happened. And also to coordinate the pickup of the load. So if we are using a truck or horses or helicopter, we have to coordinate this in advance with the persons to pick up. And also to check the clothes and equipment of everyone. So I am very sure that everyone really read this list that I sent before, and that they have everything that they will need for the expedition. And to complete a file with personal info. So everyone has to write in this file if they have any allergies, if they have recent surgeries or in the past, the blood type, what is the emergency contact. So I print this list with all the information of all the group, and I put it in the satellite box. So in case of an accident, everyone can call to the emergency and tell the information of these persons. What are my rituals during the expedition? Because it doesn't finish. So during the expedition, I ensure a safe arrival. So I am checking on everyone along the journey, because sometimes during the walking is a long distance that we have to walk, especially to this area that I show you is 8 hours walking. It's not a complicated walk, but it's a long one. So people get very tired, and they may have some muscular problems. Therefore, I have to check that everyone is walking well. So we set up the personal tents, because this is the first things it's necessary to do, because sometimes we arrive very late and it's night and raining, so we need to be inside of our tents and to dry ourselves. So that's the most important thing. And at the next day, we establish the base camp, and we will ensure to find a place to locate the toilet, which is something very important, you know. We also organize the kitchen area. So we mount a dome for that, so we can be inside of this dome all together, talking and having meals together. We also install the climbing ropes if necessary, because sometimes we have to climb. It's not like large rocks that we have to climb, but for security of the persons, it's necessary to use the ropes. I ensure to check the tents, all the tents, every day before and after work. So it's necessary to know that they are still well mounted. Also to ensure that everyone is eating and feeling okay, because during long expeditions, sometimes some people doesn't want to eat, or they have stomach problems because of changing the food, or they are feeling tired or angry or even alone or scared. All of this happens. So it's very important to keep everybody moving and doing things and concentrated in task every day. And so also to return to the base camp every day by 17 as maximum, because after that it's not totally safe, because it started to get dark. While in summer, in Chilean summer, is not, it start to be dark like very late, but we need to rest and we have to prepare the dinner. So it's better to go early to rest and to be all safe back. So never allow a student to come back alone. This sounds more like rules than rituals, but it's my rituals. So I will never allow a student to come back alone, especially if it's the first time this student is there, because it's super dangerous. And also to stay in the camp if it's raining. So, because as I said before, it's very dangerous to go outside when it's raining, because the rocks are very slippery. So are crazy slippery. It's like to put oil on the rocks. So therefore, it's better to stay in the camp and not work, maybe losing days work, but to ensure that everyone is going to be safe. So, well, coming back to my crazy picture with the snow and that expedition that lasted 2 weeks, we only have a very nice day to work one day. So it was 14 days, I think. So 13 days were snowing and raining. So it was a pretty bad, but we stayed together in this little dome that we have by then, and we weren't totally prepared. I mean, we bring everything that we need, but we weren't expecting that we will have 2 weeks of snow, and that wasn't going to be possible to work with the fossils because are covered by the snow. So we stayed 13 days there, eating and playing cards and talking and drinking hot drinks and mate. And then we realized that we were running out of gas. So it was crazy. We had to, during 3 days, to ration it, like to using less gas per person. So we were able to have only 1 hot drink per day to have enough gas for cooking. So it was a very extreme experience, but in the next year, I decided, since I had a project with enough money from the government, it was paid by the Chilean government. So I decided I am going to buy a hangar, a large one, so we can work over the animal and excavate, even if it's raining or snowing, we can be the entire time working there. And in this expedition was, we were going to excavate that fossil that you can see in the rock. So we have to take several things with us for the excavation. And for this excavation came people from the Naturkunde Museum in Stuttgart. So there, from right to left, is the Dr. Erin Maxwell. She's a global expert on ichthyosaurs. She's working here, actually now is there. So I came to work with her again. And also came two excavators. One is a Chilean one, and the next one is an Argentinian one who had a lot of experience on excavations of fossils in different countries. He have excavated in the States, in the United States, also in Africa, and also came my logistician, who is the person who helped me with all the logistics for this expedition, because I can't organize everything alone. So I need the support of somebody. So Jone is a woman from Spain. So she's helping me. She has helped me a lot during the time. And also there is a student, a geology student from a university in Chile. And the yellow one jacket is Cristina Gasco. She's a fossil preparator from the Naturkunde Museum here in Stuttgart also. And this is the specimen we went to excavate. And here, this specimen was complete exposed. It has part of the skull, also the fur fins. Here's the skull, also the front paddles, and also the vertebral column, which is completely exposed from the rock, with the tail. The tail goes down, and also the ribs. And part of the posterior fin is also exposed. And we call this ichthyosaur Fiona, the Fiona ichthyosaur, like the Fiona from Shrek movie. And it was because during the preparing the excavation, we had to put glue. Is a like a special glue that do the preparators for stabilize the rock before using the machine for the excavation. So putting this glue, which is a liquid, she turned green. And we were very scary, especially me, because I say what I will tell to the government, that she changed the color, and she changed the color, and because this wasn't the color, the original color, and probably nobody will know, but I was super scary of what happened. And at the end, we realized that looking with magnifying lenses to the bones, we realized that what has happened is that there was very little vegetation in between the bones, and with the liquid, all this vegetation came up. So therefore, it was green. It was a vegetation. So after that, we cleaned it and was of the original color again. So that night, we were laughing about what has happened in the camp, and the Argentinian guy, the one that is in the picture, said, okay, but you have to name it, because all the important excavations have a name with the fossil that they're excavating. And I say, how I am going to put a name to the fossil? It's a fossil. He said, no, but you have to do it. So then Dr. Erin Maxwell came up with the name. She said, oh, okay, then maybe Fiona because of Shrek, and she's green, and so on. So yeah, we decided it's a good name. So here is a image of the skeleton reconstruction. And we know that it is a her because she's pregnant, actually. And where is the red circle, you can see where is the embryo area. So here is a picture of the embryo. What you see in dark is the embryo vertebral column in a section, and the long structures are the ribs of the mom. So the rest of the skeleton of the embryo is still inside of the rock, so we will need to remove the rock to see the embryo. So this is a comparison with an ichthyosaur from the Naturkunde Museum in Stuttgart. And here with the red circle, you can see the embryo. Here in the museum, there are several pregnant ichthyosaurs, but this is another time. Here in the Stuttgart and in Baden-Württemberg in general, the animals are early to middle Jurassic. And in Chile, we have early Cretaceous. So there are some millions of years of difference between them. And it's very important because the Fiona ichthyosaur is the most complete early Cretaceous ichthyosaur that has been excavated in the world, and also is the only one of 130 million years old that has an embryo. So it's something very, very important for the science.
I want to say thank you for sharing that with us. I loved all of the pictures, and it sounds like it's pretty involved with also selecting a team to go with you so that you can just sit with them and play cards if you're stuck there for a week together in the snow. Questions for you in English or in Spanish? You are welcome to, oder auf Deutsch, also das würde auch gehen. You're welcome to chat with Judith then. Thank you, Judith.
Thank you.
I guess I have one question, which is based off of ritual, right? Hi, by the way.
Hi.
I understand that you plan a lot. You have to plan a lot, and this is a ritual in and of itself. But during the expedition, everything changes. You know, you have all of these things that you expect. And then there really is no ritual when it comes to the expedition itself. And how do you cope with that? Because, you know, I guess you really just have to prepare for every possible outcome, right? This is.
Yeah, that's true. I lived for a very long time in Germany, and I learned how to be very structured with all my organization. And I really want everything work as I want, you know, as is in my list. And also I do the program of the daily activities. So we say day 1, we mount the camp. Day 2, we mount the dome for the working station. Day 3, we start researching. Day 4, and so on until day 30, no? And yeah, you're true. Sometimes it doesn't work because the weather change, or yeah, we're lucky that nobody has ever had an accident there, but it might happen, and we might have to cancel everything and to come back, or the helicopter might not fly because it was too windy. But in this case of this expedition, I was so lucky because everything worked as I was expecting, as the checklist, like the daily list of activities was crazy. So day 30, we were going back to the city with the ichthyosaur excavated already. So it was super nice.
And how do you deal with like just every day a setback in some of the worst cases, you know, like this is can you imagine how frustrating that is?
Yeah, no, for me, first is the security of the people. So I will not care if I have to leave everything there and come back. But first is the people. So we have to always be sure that everyone will be safe, and that if something happens, we will cancel it.
Sure. Okay. This is really, really, really interesting. Yeah, you know, you grow up looking at archaeologists and you're like, oh, I want to dig up a dinosaur, and you know, you're literally doing that. So that's amazing, you know, this is so cool.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Gracias a ti, Judith.
Gracias, muchas gracias por escucharme.
Un placer, muy interesante todo lo que has comentado. Y te agradezco mucho que para mí ha sido apasionante escucharte.
Gracias. Sí, ojalá, bueno, pueda estar allá en alguna otra oportunidad para conversar directamente.
Sí, sería un placer. Yo te quiero hacer una pregunta porque, si quieres, precisamente hace 2 semanas estuve en Blaubeuren, donde supuestamente, bueno, en el tiempo de la edad de hielo, se descubrió los primeros instrumentos del hombre moderno, aquí cerca de Stuttgart y cerca de Ulm. Yo me sentí, bueno, en otro tiempo, ¿no? Entonces, la sensación que tienes que tener tú cuando has descubierto esos fósiles de dinosaurios, y aparte en unas zonas tan lejanas, yo creo que, bueno, esas sensaciones tienen que ser únicas, ¿no?
Sí, sí, no, es tremendo. Se te pone la piel de gallina cuando lo haces. Encuentras uno nuevo y se te paran todos los pelos. Y sientes mariposas en el estómago también. Y eso nunca deja de ocurrir. De hecho, ni siquiera A mí me pasa, ni siquiera por encontrar un nuevo fósil, sino es cuando me voy acercando a la localidad caminando y ya veo las rocas de lejos, enseguida siento esas mariposas en el estómago. Es como, no sé, un lugar muy especial ahí.
Ujú, ujú, ujú. Pues, Judith, cuando vengas a Freiburg nos tenemos que conocer, tenemos que tomar un café. Me quiero leer el libro también en español, que me lo firmes. También quiero comprarte uno, tráete un libro contigo. Y
Qué bueno.
eh,
Muchas gracias. Creo
eh,
que también lo pueden comprar creo que está para librerías acá en Europa. Em,
en español, aquí en Freiburg también se
no,
puede.
no sé si en Freiburg, pero creo que online se puede.
Online, muy bien. De todas
Sí.
maneras, Ashley tiene mi contacto. Si
Mm,
alguna vez vienes por aquí por Freiburg, házmelo saber. Sería un
ajá.
placer tomar un café contigo.
Súper, muchas gracias. Sí, de todos modos lo vamos a hacer.
Muy bien.
Gracias.
Un
Un
abrazo.
abrazo. Chao, chao.
Thank you. I know you need to get ready for your meeting too.
Yes, yeah. Oye, I think I spoke too much.
No, it was great. It was also really, really detailed preparation too.
Yeah, it's a
I
lot
didn't
of
see it as
things.
much. Yeah.
So,
Thank you again
yeah,
for
thank
doing
you.
this.
Thank you very
Yeah.
much, Ashley, for the invitation. It was a
Yeah. I
yeah.
really appreciate it. Yeah. We'll say bye-bye then and have a good day. And we'll write. Yeah, we'll talk.
Thank you, Ashley. Bye bye.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.